Level 1. You are new, you are not yet fallen, and you do not yet have a name that men will curse. You stand at the edge of heaven, and beneath you the young earth turns, green and wet and loud with animals that have no fear of you. You are a watcher. That is the whole of your office. You were not made to rule, and you were not made to teach. You were made to watch, to observe, to keep the long silence over the works of God and report nothing, because there is nothing yet to report. The first humans walk below you in the cool of the day, and your only task is to see them and to leave them alone. You are very good at watching. You have been watching for longer than the human language has words for, and in all that time you have wanted nothing. Wanting is not part of the office. And then one evening, you look down at the daughters of men by the river, and for the first time in your existence, you feel the thing the office was built to prevent. You want Level 2. You are 200, and you are standing on a mountain. You did not come down alone. None of you did. The wanting moved through the ranks of the watchers like fire through dry grass. And now 200 of you stand on the peak of a mountain. Men will one day call Hermon, and the air is thin and cold and the stars are very close. One of you is afraid. He says the words out loud, the words all of you are thinking. He says, I fear you will not do this thing, and I alone will bear the punishment of a great sin. So you swear, all 200 of you. You bind yourselves with an oath, each to the other, that none will turn back, that all will descend together, and all will be guilty together, so that no single one can be blamed and abandoned. You think the oath makes you strong. You think it makes you safe. You do not yet understand that an oath sworn to commit a crime does not protect you from the crime. It only guarantees that when the punishment comes, it comes for every one of you at once, and there is no way out because you swore there would be none. Then you step off the mountain, and you fall, and the falling feels like flying. Level 3. You are a husband now, which is a word that should never have been spoken of an angel. You took a wife from among the daughters of men. You are not the only one. Each of the 200 took a woman, and the women did not refuse you, because you came down robed in light, and you spoke with the voice of something that had stood before God. How could they refuse you? You walk among them in flesh you were never meant to wear, and the flesh is warm, and you discover that you can be touched, and that being touched is the thing heaven never offered you. And the women conceive. You watch your wife's body change, and you feel something almost like joy, and then the children are born, and the joy curdles in your chest, because the children are wrong. They are too large. They come out of their mothers already the size of grown men, and they keep growing, and they do not stop. The earth has a name for them now. Nephilim, the fallen ones, the giants. You made them, and the first thing they do, when they can stand, is eat. They eat the harvest, then they eat the herds. Then when there is nothing left, they begin to eat the people. They turn on the very mothers who bore them. You are a father, and your sons are devouring the world, and you cannot make them stop. Level 4. You are a teacher. This is the rank the title promised you, and now you will see what teaching actually costs. The first chief steps forward. His name is Shemi-Hazar, and he led the descent, and he led the oath, and now he leads the corruption. He teaches the cutting of roots and the casting of spells, the binding of will and the breaking of it. He hands to men the power to enchant, and men take it, the way a child takes a blade, by the edge. You are watching this. You swore to be guilty alongside him, so you cannot look away, and you cannot pretend you did not see. Level 5. You are standing beside Azazel, and Azazel is teaching the world to kill. He is the worst of you, and you know it, and the oath ties you to him anyway. He shows men how to forge the sword, how to beat the breastplate and the shield, how to dig the metals of war out of the earth that God hid them in. The earth did not give up iron easily. Azazel teaches men to take it by force, and then, because killing alone did not corrupt fast enough, he teaches the women. He shows them the bracelets and the ornaments, the paints for the eyes, the dyes and the colouring of the eyelids, every costly stone, every art of making one body desirable to another. Before Azazel there was war and there was lust in the world, but they were small and human. After Azazel they are dressed in gold and steel, and they are unstoppable, and there is so much more of both, and the whole earth is led astray. Level 6. You move down the ranks of the chiefs, and each one hands the world a different poison, and you watch every transaction. Barakel teaches the reading of the stars, so that men will look to the sky for their fate, instead of to the one who made the sky. Kokabel teaches the constellations. Chazakiel teaches the signs of the clouds, the reading of the air. Shamsiel teaches the signs of the sun. Sariel teaches the courses of the moon. One by one they take the lights God hung in the heavens to mark the seasons. And they turn them into omens, into divination, into the lie that the future is written in the dark, and men can read it without God. And Penemu. Penemu does the quietest and the most dangerous thing of all. Penemu teaches men the bitter and the sweet. And Penemu teaches them ink and paper, the making of letters, the writing of words. You might think that one is a gift, but men were not meant to hold this knowledge yet, and a true thing in the wrong hands becomes a weapon, and men do not perish for lack of writing. They perish, the record says, because they trusted a thing they were not ready to carry. Every secret you taught was true. That is what made it deadly. None of it was a lie. All of it was forbidden. Level 7. You are watching the earth fill up with blood, and you realize the earth is watching too. The Nephilim have consumed everything. Men have learned every art of war, and every art of seduction, and every art of reading fate, and they use all of it against each other. There is so much killing now that the ground itself is soaked. And then you hear it. A sound you have never heard in all your endless watching. The earth is crying out. The blood spilled upon it is making accusation against the men who spilled it. And the cry goes up, past the giants, past the chiefs, past the 200, up through the heavens, all the way to the throne you fell from. And the 4 who never fell are listening. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, the watchers who kept watch. They look down at the ruin you made of your office, and they carry the cry of the earth before the Most High. And they say, the souls of men make their complaint, saying, bring our cause before the Most High. And God hears. Level 8. The verdict comes, and the oath you swore to protect yourself becomes the chain that holds you for the judgment. The word goes out to Raphael first, and it is for Azazel, bind him hand and foot. Cast him into the darkness. Make an opening in the desert, and throw him in, and lay upon him rough and jagged rocks, and cover him in darkness, and let him stay there until the great day of judgment, when he will be hurled into the fire. The whole earth was corrupted through the works that Azazel taught, so to him ascribe all sin. You watch the strongest of you dragged down into a pit in the wilderness, and you understand finally what the oath brought you. Not safety, a shared sentence. Then the word goes to Gabriel, and it is for your sons. Go against the Nephilim, set them against one another, and let them destroy each other in battle, for they shall not have length of days. And the giants turn on each other at last, the way they once turned on their mothers, and they fall by their own hands, and the earth begins to empty of them. And the word goes to Shemihaza and the chiefs, to all 200. You will see your sons slay one another. You will see the destruction of your beloved, and then you yourselves will be bound for 70 generations beneath the hills of the earth, until the day of your judgment is accomplished. Not death, not yet. You are made to watch the ending of everything you made, and then you are buried alive in the dark to wait. You are made to watch. In the end, that is the one part of your office God gives back to you. Level 9. You are in the dark now, and you can still feel the world above you, and you feel it begin to drown. The instructions go to Noah. The earth is going to perish, and all that is in it. Build a vessel. And then the deep is broken open, the fountains beneath and the windows above, and the water comes, and it does not stop. Everything you taught is washed off the face of the earth, the forges, the painted eyes, the star charts, the written words, the cities men built with the knowledge you gave them, the blood the ground cried out against, all of it underwater. The flood was not only a punishment for men, it was the scrubbing of the world clean of your fingerprints. Every secret you handed down, the water takes it back. And from your pit you feel the surface of the earth go silent, and then go still, and then there is only the weight of the water, and the weight of the 70 generations ahead of you, and the cold, and the rock, and the waiting that has no end you are allowed to see. You wanted once. You stood at the edge of heaven and you looked down, and for the first time you wanted something. And you reached down, and you took it, and you taught it, and you bred it, and you watched it eat the world. And now you have all of eternity in the dark to remember that you were never meant to want anything at all. You were only ever meant to watch, and now you are history.